Hey, Warrior Saints, Father Chris here, and welcome to the Way of the Warrior Saint Weekly, where we are striving to become strong Christian men by living a crucifixional life. One of the greatest challenges I faced in my own life is boundaries. I'm a people pleaser. I want to help people. I want to solve and fix their problems. And in doing so, I found, especially early on in my ministry, that I said yes to everything. I didn't say no to anything, ever. I thought, well, great, let's help, let's be everywhere present, let's fill all things, and let's help people solve their problems, and then I will find all this beautiful glory. And I realized at some point, it happened very, very quickly in my time in Phoenix, that I said, oh, this ain't working. You see, my community here is fabulous. They loved us. Ever since the first day we got here, they've taken very good care of me and my family. One thing to testify to that is that for the first 60 days that we were in Phoenix, the first 2 months, my wife and I ate at home 5 nights. 55 nights we were invited to homes with families, with parishioners, with loved ones to celebrate together, to break bread together, and to keep me out of the house for 55 out of 60 nights. Their intent was great. Their intent was love. But I realized at some point, and I'm not even being funny, my pants were tight because I was overeating. My eyes were haggard because I wasn't sleeping. My wife had a job and she was exhausted because I kept her out all hours of the night with parishioners. And she had to get up early to go to her own job, her own work. And we just weren't offering very high contributions to the world. We weren't really doing anything great. I mean, we were just kind of mediocre, bush league at best. We felt the love. We were so grateful, still to this day are grateful. But I learned that if one does not set a boundary, then it will always be transgressed. And if you allow one boundary to crumble, so will all the rest. The key to today's lesson is this: set your boundaries, maintain them. If you don't, they will be transgressed. If you don't stay firm to your boundaries, they will be pushed. And if you maintain them, hold strong to your boundaries, you will find yourself successful and offering your highest point of contribution to the world. Boundaries empower and protect us. They enable us to accomplish the things that we want to accomplish. Here's a great story about that. My children, when they were in elementary school, as we would take them in the morning, all the parents had to form a barricade around them because there was no fence around the playground. There was no boundary there. And we were all afraid that some kid might run into the street and get hurt by a car, or that some inappropriate, creepy old dude or old lady would snatch a kid. So we formed this barricade, this boundary around our kids. But because there were so many of them and so few parents, we had to quarantine them in this small section of the playground. After one summer, something interesting happened. We came back to discover that the school had put up a fence around the entirety of the playground. And so now they were protected, they were safe. No child could run out into the street. No creepy old dude could run in and snatch a child. They were safe within the boundary of this fence. And what was fascinating to me the most about this was that the area that the kids were allowed to play, because they had this safe boundary, this safe border around them, now expanded. They could run over the entirety of the playground rather than just this little section that the parents quarantined them into because they had a boundary. Setting boundaries protects us. It allows us to exist in a space where we are safe and free to do the things that we want to do, free to do the things that we need to do, and it keeps all of the other distractions away from us. It keeps all the rest of that stuff out, keeping us safe within this secure space so we can offer our highest point of contribution to the world. In short, you want to succeed, you want to do well, you got to have some boundaries. How do we set boundaries to keep us safe, to give us that space to be effective, to be successful, to do the very best that we can? How do we face the discomfort of saying no rather than saying yes to everything? How do we set boundaries in the workplace with a boss, in a company, in a business, with an employee? How do we set boundaries with our families, in a social context, with our own physical health? How do we set boundaries so that we can be the most effective men that we can be? How do we set those boundaries so that we can say yes to the right things and no to all the rest? To answer these questions and to finish the episode, visit us at warriorsaints.org and sign up for the Way of the Warrior Saint Weekly. This is our weekly vlog that we send directly to your email inbox every single week with a new lesson, new content to help us become strong Christian men by living crucifixional lives. If you want to find yourself being the very best version that you can, if you want to find yourself being the best you that you can be, then you need to sign up for the Way of the Warrior Saint Weekly, because we're going to help you in every way that we can become that strong Christian man that you desire to be. So make sure you sign up for the weekly, and I'll see you on the Way of the Warrior Saint.